intro today. We have breaking news. Hasan Piker found another terrorist organization to support. This is fantastic news. So, according to my tabulations, as the man that has created and popularized the How Effed is Hasan Piker franchise, truly growing in numbers and popularity every single day. People love this franchise so much. I have to say, it is so good to talk about a communist with a Gucci bag. My boy is 450% cooked right now, and we're gonna dive straight into the news. This one's crazy. No time for an intro. Hasan Piker is the biggest leftist political streamer in the world. New York Times wrote puff pieces about him. He is protected by Twitch, and it must be known that no matter what type of terrorist attack happens, Hasan will be there to defend the terrorists. Like, you cannot even make this up. So, I wanted to show you, this is a clip from his newest stream, alright, where Hasan says some pretty wild crap, and I'll fill you in with the details as we go on. He says that Asmongold is a genocidal freak that wants to kill Indians. He has other great clips, like talking about how all Indians are terrorists. So lock in, because we got some classic Hasan updates where he says that he hates Jews. But more importantly today, new terrorists to support, gamers.
Violates the sovereignty of another nation state. So is Russia. A great example of this would be Russia. Any state that violates the sovereignty of another state and strikes civilian targets is a fucking rogue terrorist state.
So this is him referring to India, because currently, in case you were unaware, there is a bit of a war going on, some beef happening between India and Pakistan. If you want, I could give you the entire TLDR before you see this clip, so it'll make this clip sound even worse. So this is Pakistan, all right, and this is India. All right, so currently, India and Pakistan are at war. It all started in 1947 when there was a colossal situation that happened that India and Pakistan ended up becoming two separate countries. Basically, over the last couple of years, there was a gigantic bunch of terrorist attacks that took place in India. In India, there were a ton of terrorist attacks that took place, and a lot of these terrorist attacks, in fact, most of them, from what I understand, were tied directly to the Pakistani government. Now, again, these are claims. These are not evidence as to a lot of these attacks of their direct connections. But for example, just recently, a lot of the actual people in the Pakistani government went to the funerals of the terrorists that committed a terrorist attack in India. So, now that you have all this going on, India over here launched a counterattack on Pakistan, trying to take out terrorist infrastructure, and Pakistan is now claiming, I cannot believe India would attack us, and there's basically a war happening right now. I'll fill you in on more details as we go on, but in a nutshell, the super short news version of it is, Pakistan has been lying all the time, being like, look, this is a video of us shooting down Indian planes, and it turns out this is just video game footage. Pakistan has been going wild, saying that through a cyber attack, 70% of India's power grid has been inoperative. This is not true. That didn't happen. And also, several Pakistani medias reported that Pakistan launched ballistic missiles against India's capital, which also did not happen. Ironically, none of these things actually happened, but they're claiming it happened, which is crazy. We'll get into more details later. So, this is Hasan Piker, leftist political streamer extraordinaire, one of the biggest, and it turns out, my boy's take on the conflict is pretty wild, because as you know, India hit Pakistan back after multiple terrorist attacks that they linked to Pakistan, where basically I will give you more context as we keep going, but pretty freaking crazy. His response is, India's counterattack makes them a terrorist state.
Violates the sovereignty of another nation state. So is Russia. A great example of this would be Russia. Any state that violates the sovereignty of another state and strikes civilian targets is a fucking rogue terrorist state. She didn't even say India is a terrorist rogue state. I think she just said India is a rogue state. But I would go so far as to say, yeah, they're doing terrorism.
This is like the Hasan Piker playbook. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. There are terrorist attacks, confirmed terrorist attacks that take place in India, all right, from Pakistani people that have ties to the Pakistani government. And then India attacks back, and Hasan is like, what a rogue terrorist state thing to do. It is a rogue terrorist state attacking civilians. This is crazy. The Hamas Piker playbook is so based. He never ties terrorist attacks to the actual countries where the terrorist attacks come from. And then anytime anyone literally fights back, rogue terrorist state, it's a genocide. This is crazy.
Also, her analysis on the matter is putting the BJP guy in a very different light. Like, she's coming across way more restrained and way more informed, instead of just simply saying, I don't give a shit that there's no evidence, no direct ties to Pakistan involvement in the terror attack that took place. Who gives a fuck? They've been doing this for 30 years. We have to get blood. Seems a little crazy to say.
I love how, whatever. I want to go through Hasan's logic for this a little bit later. We're going to be looking at his entire video on this. But just like to be clear, he's saying, I don't care that there were multiple terrorist attacks that were based from terrorist organizations that were in Pakistan against Indians over the last 30 years. And now they're attacking back. It's obviously because of Islamophobia.
Especially when you're trying to defend your position in the Western world by presenting yourself as like a reasonable, restrained, sovereign nation state.
And then attack at will and kill civilians, women, children, send them to hospitals in large...
I'm sorry, I'm vehemently anti-Modi and his agenda, but to call India a rogue terrorist state is absolutely incorrect.
All right, so this is like your average leftist guy in the chat. He's like, listen, I'm a leftist just like you, but why would you call India a rogue terrorist state? That's pretty crazy.
I mean, this severe escalation that violates this is a rogue terrorist action, a rogue terrorist state action. That's precisely.
According to Hasan, every time you retaliate against a terrorist, you become a rogue terrorist state. It's like, if it would happen just once, then it could be a coincidence. But if you directly call everyone who retaliates against terrorism a terrorist themselves, remember, he calls America terrorists, he calls Israel terrorists, he calls India terrorists. Anytime anyone retaliates against terrorism, they become the terrorists, according to Hasan. Like, how much more can you align yourself with a terrorist organization?
What that was, what happened, like, just like what Russia has done in Ukraine, makes it a rogue terrorist.
Yeah, but the difference is, from what I understand, Ukraine didn't have terrorist organizations jumping into Russia, murdering random people for not being Muslim, like what happened in India a month ago. For those of you that don't know, in India, there were a bunch of people that I think they murdered 26 people in India, and basically asked them, are you a Hindu or are you a Muslim? And if they said they're a Hindu, they murdered them on the spot. That's what happened a couple of weeks ago in India. So, yeah, it is crazy. It's insane. Face of Twitch and runner-up anti-Semite of the year, Hasan Piker, is calling India a rogue terrorist state in defense for Pakistan. How does this always happen? I don't understand. How does he never have anything not nice to say about the... This is a leftist streamer, okay? He respects women, probably, right? He's leftist. Leftists are supposed to respect women, all right? Like, he literally defends every country in the world that has the least respect for women. And, listen, like, what is going on? This is crazy, bro. Holy shit. Wow. Insanity. Anyway, it gets wilder because Donald Trump tweets, after a long night of talks mediated by the United States, I am pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. Congratulations to both countries on using common sense and great intelligence. Thank you for your attention on this matter. So Donald Trump comes out there. He's like, bro, we talked to everyone. We made peace. Peacekeeper has arrived. Fantastic news for the world. Thank you, gigantic orange man. But now, you're probably gonna be scratching your head. Can you really trust that a terrorist organization, which kind of started this whole shit, is really gonna keep the peace? So, this announcement was made today. Just in, Pakistan violates ceasefire, launches drones against India hours after agreeing to ceasefire. Well, anyway, awkward, that sucks. Anyway, Hasan will support this probably. I'm calling it right now. Hasan's next stream, he's gonna say India's the one that violated the ceasefire. This is just a Nux pre-watch moment. I'm calling it right now. Hasan's next stream, he will say India violated the ceasefire. It's what happens every time. Anywho, so right after they violated the ceasefire in Pakistan, the Pakistan Prime Minister guy, Shahbaz Sharif, whatever. We won the war. Our attack destroyed the enemy's air bases. Complete victory to Pakistan. He announces. They didn't destroy any air bases. I don't know what. He just said that, bro. He just came out and said that shit. All right, so anyway, this is coming right after in my previous video when I did a bit of an analysis on the actual fucking war and shit. When I actually looked into that. It turns out Pakistan has basically been saying constantly, like, we took down 5 elite aircraft, our technology is superior, and then the reporter asked the Pakistani guy, the defense minister, oh, do you have any evidence that you shot down 5 planes? And he's like, maybe check Twitter. Great defense. So anyway, speaking of Hamas Piker, here's another banger of the last day. From Hamas Piker. Oh, by the way, I'm back on Twitter. Go follow me. Link in the description. But yeah, anyway.
31st of May, 2010.
Shut up. Go back to Auschwitz.
Hilarious.
Shut up. Go back to Auschwitz.
There we go. That's my guy. He doesn't hate Jews, by the way. Doesn't hate Jews, by the way. Let's make this clear. Hamas swastika sword Piker over here does not hate Jews. Now, to be honest, I don't really care like about the shut up, go back to Auschwitz line. It's just the funny thing to me personally is that this absolute loser, this absolute diametrically massive colossal loser keeps arguing, no, I love Jews. I love Jews, guys. I do. I don't support terrorists. Go back to Auschwitz. And then he's like laughing and giddy and stuff. I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah, no, it's insane. This guy's a true hero. I posted a banger, by the way, in case you wanted to see it. Yeah, I thought this one was a banger. Glad we had brothel enjoyer Piker as a prominent voice on the left. I was raped. They were raped. Is there someone you forgot to ask? True. True. Anyway, in other news, speaking of Hasan's support of terrorist organizations, before we get into the India-Pakistan drama and beef and Hasan's support of terrorists again, because that seems to happen more than one time. If I had a nickel for every time Hasan Piker supported terrorist organizations, I would have like 40 nickels. Which is a lot of nickels. All right, anyway, so this is a message made directly to Hasan Piker from a guy from Yemen.
Hasan Piker, notorious terrorist sympathizer, just compared Anne Frank to the Houthis.
Well, I'm just saying, this guy clearly watches the How Fucked is Hasan Piker franchise. Definitely subscribe because this franchise is awesome. Hit that join button, goddammit. Hit the join button next to the sub to support your boy fucking Hasan Piker.
Who are ruining my home.
Do you think he's like Anne Frank?
Absolutely! Your beloved Houthis killed my mom's best friend. Anne Frank never killed anyone. The Nazis killed her. Your beloved Houthis took over my country by force, not through democracy. Anne Frank never took over anything. She was hiding in an attic. Your beloved Houthis have been starving my people for more than 10 years. Anne Frank was starved by Nazis, like the ones that you support. Your beloved Houthis have imprisoned journalists and killed minorities. Anne Frank was a minority who was silenced and murdered for who she was. And as I am saying this, the Houthis are torturing the last remaining Jew in Yemen. And they're not torturing him because he's a Zionist or Israeli. The last remaining Yemeni Jew is actually anti-Zionist.
Bro! I didn't even know that! Oh, God. Holy shit. Hasan, you got fucking people from Yemen are calling you up as a fucking retard supporting terrorists. How do you not realize that you're a retard for supporting terrorists? Oh my God, dude. Holy shit.
So, Hasan, before you make ridiculous anti-Semitic claims like this, grab a book or book a flight to Yemen. The terrorists that you support and interview on your platforms are the very same terrorists that make my family and friends in Yemen suffer. So let's be real, Hasan. You don't stand up for the peace, liberation, and freedom of the Middle East. You're just an anti-Semitic piece of shit.
God damn! So yeah, anyway, this dude absolutely fucking cooked. This is one of the craziest One of the absolute craziest videos I've seen of all time. I am so glad that Hasan, he's never gonna react to this shit. No way he's gonna ever react to this shit, because he doesn't actually care about the people in Yemen. He doesn't actually care about the people anywhere. He just has terrorists that he likes supporting for clicks and money. All right, communist with a Gucci bag, got his Prada kicks, gotta have his swag. Bro's a communist on his mountain of money off the tears that he fakes and makes believe he cries for people tortured in other countries. In other news, this is the real reason why Hasan Piker has picked a side. There are some retards on the internet truly going wild here. India bombing Pakistan is a direct result of Israel's total impunity. Thank you. I'm so glad we found a way to blame Jews for this one. India and Pakistan are at war. Liberals are confused because they're both people of color and don't have any Jews to blame. But don't worry, liberals, because Hasan Piker, the MAGA, the fucking communist in the MAGA body or whatever the fuck New York Times called him, he is here to shed light on, don't worry guys, because we have terrorists on one side, so we know who the good guys are. So Hasan made this video titled India versus Pakistan. He is, as we know, India versus Pakistan is a situation that Hasan probably knows an incredibly large amount about. Now, the first 7 minutes is where he gets his information on the actual India-Pakistan war. The first 7 minutes of his video, and I am not even joking, is literally him reacting to, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, all right? Not exaggerating. It's just him reacting to Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is a Qatar-based propaganda news channel. All right, and it's essentially just him playing an Al Jazeera clip, which obviously sides with the terrorists. Obviously, duh, because that's who he reacts to for news. All news in the Middle East needs to go through Al Jazeera for Hamas Piker for some reason. Yeah, anyway, so that's the first 7 minutes of his video, where basically he reacts to Al Jazeera, which is pretty great. Love that, love that. Hell yeah, dude, hell yeah. Good stuff. Classic. And then he actually starts having his opinions. So I think it's very important to watch his coverage of the rest of this video, where he essentially repeats again and again and again that India is the terrorist state for fighting back against Pakistan when an unending seemingly amount of terrorist attacks were flowing into India from Pakistan. So anyway, lock in, boys and girls. Let's watch a retard anger another group of people. Honestly, he pissed off Jews before. Despite what everyone says about Jews controlling the media, Jews, there are not a lot of Jews. There's about 15 million Jews in the world. Now he's pissing off Indians. There's billions of them. Oh, the Hasan Piker fuck franchise is getting better and better every day.
I don't think India is behaving restrained at all.
Nice.
I'm gonna be honest.
All right, this is after he watches his Al Jazeera broadcast from Qatar. This is the analysis. It's coming in. Get ready. He's about to pop off.
Honest. I'm not.
Bro is gonna get so many scam calls in the next couple of. That was a joke.
Exactly the biggest fan of the Pakistani government either. Having said that, they are the party that is demonstrating restraint.
The party where the terrorist attacks came from, all right, is the party that's exercising restraint, because at least the attacks that are coming into India from Pakistan are with people dressed as civilians. This is the craziest shit in the world. The craziest shit in the universe. According to Hasan, you can never retaliate against a terrorist attack because that's just escalating. How on earth do you possibly have this take? Bro, Hasan has okay, dude, I just came up with the best joke ever, and I'm gonna say it right now. So I have to use this for a future video. In a war between 9/11 and 7/11, Hasan picked 9/11. Damn, that was crazy. Anyway.
It's nutty. Okay, I'll be honest. I did not think that they would hit inside of Pakistan. I thought they would hit inside of Kashmir territory, or at least show evidence and maybe conduct a joint military operation or something, or get the go-ahead from Pakistan to allow them to conduct a military operation inside of its borders.
Do you hear how retarded this guy is, man? You have these terrorist attacks that happen constantly in India from people that are from Pakistan, okay? Constantly. Tons of them, all right? Dozens and dozens of them. His response is, why should India fight back on what their intelligence agency says are terrorist infrastructure? Instead, you know what India should do? India should work with Pakistan to team up shake hands and do a joint operation to take out the terrorists. Well, maybe Pakistan should have focused on taking down these terrorist organizations themselves. No, that's not Pakistan's job. They're only attacking India. Who cares about that? No, India should work with them instead of escalate. Dude, this is the level of mental handicap we're dealing with here.
They came in with zero evidence, and they hit inside of Pakistan borders, not just in Kashmir controlled territory. And then that they demonstrate. They said,
you do realize that a lot of quote unquote Kashmir controlled territory. Okay, so for those of you that don't understand the exact drama, the British mandate in 1947 had all of India, and they basically gave it back. They gave it to India and Pakistan to control. They then split, where India became a Hindu majority country and Pakistan became a Muslim majority country. In the center, between India and Pakistan, there was Kashmir. Kashmir was ruled by Hindus, except I think the majority was Muslim, from what I understand. Anywho, the reason why I mention this is because, simply put, the Kashmir region was under a lot of beef and a lot of drama between both sides for a very long time. It remained sort of independent, and a lot of it was actually annexed by Pakistan. They took over a chunk of Kashmir themselves. So anyway, him saying how dare they attack Pakistan territory is a little wild.
this is restraint. We're showing restraint. India did after that, but it seemingly wasn't enough. And now they're going and going and going. I saw Asmongold was covering this, and if you don't cover the sides equally after Indians who are frustrated at terrorist attacks will keep leaning away from peace. India's always favored peace in part because they didn't feel confident about defeating Pakistan. Now they do, so they're escalating. Yeah, except I already gave an example where like Balochistan separatists conducting terror attacks or whatever in Pakistan. If Pakistan's retaliation was...
This is always his move. It's just separatists, guys. You cannot ever retaliate against what you think are terrorist organizations because every terrorist attack is just done by separatists. You could never actually fight back. This is the argument every single time, and this is, I think, largely where the divide happens to come from. It is insane to me that he actually thinks this way.
So just start striking India. I would say that's insane. You see what I mean? The funniest part about this is always is like half the chat will be like, did you see the Pakistan Muslim terrorists did to the Hindus? And then the other half is like, well, you don't understand. This has nothing to do with Hindus versus Muslims, bro. All of India is united. The main military commander that speaks out for these campaigns is Muslim. You don't get it. I'm not even giving you, I know some chatters will say you're giving.
Although the reality is a lot of this rift actually does exist because, believe it or not, of actual Hindu-Muslim controversies. Like, that is the reality of it. I don't know how you could possibly have this take. Dog, this is insane. It's like, you're really gonna hit me with these unbelievable coincidences every single time that Hasan will see a terrorist attack take place. They'll retaliate against the terrorist attack because stop killing my people. And then it's like, bro, why are you escalating, bro? Bro, stop escalating.
One-sided analysis, but if you want to see one-sided analysis, I suspect it's probably coming from Asmongold, who doesn't give a shit about either side at all.
All right, here's where the good part comes. This is what actually made me decide to make this video at the end of the day. All right, unironically, this is exactly why I decided to pull this one up.
Automatically sides with India because it's more Israel coded.
That's right, of course, obviously. Asmongold, who's not even pro-Israel, by the way, must be siding with India because he's Israel coded. Why didn't I think of that? So easy. Dude, this is literally what you have to deal with Hasan. This has nothing to do with Israel, okay? This has to do with the Islamist terrorist group attacking India multiple times, dressed as civilians for a long time. Israel had enough. Fuck. India had enough. Attack back. Israel coded. The fuck is that? I'll tell you. I'll explain to you. I will explain to you. Israel coded, according to Hasan, just means retaliating against terrorism. If you fight against terrorism, according to Hasan, you are Israel coded. Bro, do you understand the retardation that goes in this political analysis? It's insanity.
Adjacent, and also because they're killing Muslims, and he probably decides that like it's brown Indian
Look at
versus
this shit.
brown Indian Muslim. That's a third additional factor involved.
How could you possibly do this? What is going on? Oh yeah, the reason why Asmongold is on the side of India over Pakistan is because even though he hates both because they're both brown, one is also Muslim. So obviously, this is the Hasan move every single time. Terrorist coded, by the way, in my opinion. This is literally the Hasan strategy. You don't engage with the argument at all. You just call them racist. You keep going. Yeah, and obviously he will never mention me. No, Chad, he doesn't mention me. I am Blue Voldemort. He never mentions me by name. It's part of his strategy. Even when he had me pulled up on his stream, he just said like vague, isn't this the guy that's a pedophile or some shit like that? Just like slandering, sort of, like without actually saying anything important. Anywho.
So that's probably how he lands on whichever side he chooses to land on that issue. But yeah, I don't think it's just Hindutva fascism. Hindutva fascism, as Arun has talked about the chat.
All right, so Arun, as we will see soon, Arun is someone that he has a collab with on his stream. This is another Hasan strategy, and it's insane how consistent he is with his strategy. Arun is a Indian person that is pro-Pakistan. This is his move every single time. He's like, Ethan, why don't you talk to Jews that hate Israel? They'll convince you. This is like the ultimate tokenism politics strategy of Hasan. Hasan, who's not racist and woke, will get people to talk about things purely based on racism and woke.
And it's talked about over and over again. Creates a false sense of unity. It turns into just straight up nationalism. Indian nationalism.
Right.
This is a great example of this as well. Again, the problem with India, Kashmir, and also Pakistan is Indian nationalism, not just Hindutva. Every big anti-Hindutva opposition party, from liberals to the communists, thinks the de facto military occupation of Kashmir is fine and the missile strikes on Pakistan are good. Yeah. The Communist Party of India has also, from what I've seen, taken a stance where they're like supposed to be the opposition, but this time they're not. But it's interesting to see a lot of Indian chatters fall for the same line over and over again.
All the Indian chatters, they're falling for the propaganda, just like the Israel stuff. Can't believe it. All the propaganda, they're falling for it again. They're believing that the Pakistani terrorists might be from Pakistan.
Killing innocents in Poonch is restraint. Brother, is there ever a moment where I said Pakistan's decision-making has been appropriate? I'm simply talking about...
That's literally kind of what he's been doing the entire time.
Action versus reaction. That's it. And in terms of action...
All right. Here we go. Now you're going to get an insight into how Hasan would deal with terrorism.
Versus reaction. If India were to investigate the terror attacks, figure out who was directly responsible for it, maybe even figure out that there was Pakistani involvement from the state, and demand answers from the Pakistani state, and demand answers and also demand a military operation within the Pakistani borders, an operation that was conducted that was professionally executed, that actually limited the civilian casualties instead of erroneously striking fucking mosques and then yeah.
Okay, this is crazy. So that's his response. That is his response. That's what India should have done. India should have, instead of striking back against what they know to be Pakistani-based terrorist groups, which they are, all right? These are people that were trained in Pakistan that entered India and murdered people in India. This is a known fact, all right? But he needs more evidence of different people's involvements and different... Otherwise, no reverse fire. Make a deal with Pakistan, who, by the way, all went to the funerals of these terrorists, all right? The Pakistani government officials who went to the funerals of the terrorists, okay? All right? Absolutely, this is important. Talk it out, guys. Listen, talk it out. Maybe the terrorists were just, like, kind of being cringe or something. I don't know. All the terrorist attacks that happened in India over the last, 80 years.
That would be an appropriate and valid countermeasure against the terror attack that took place.
Again, the Hasan argument, never fight back against terrorism. Never. Never, ever. Never do that. Yes, let's not fight back against terrorism. Maybe they have a point.
That is precisely what happened after 11/26, as far as I understand. And that was a far more consequential and far bloodier affair overall.
So Hasan is saying now that because there was a bigger terrorist attack in the past that India didn't fight back as hard against, they should also not fight hard against this terrorist attack. Now, the reason why this is obviously a retarded logic is because There have been dozens of terrorist attacks over time. Eventually, you want them to stop, right? Shouldn't India care about its people? Like, this is crazy. Like, it's insane, man. Like, to hear this logic.
So the question I have for you right now is, why the f is India not responding in the same way that they did back then?
Maybe because back then it obviously failed, because there are still terrorist groups that reside in Pakistan launching terrorist attacks against India.
Why is it so much, why is it that seemingly the appetite for death and destruction from Indian society, as you said,
Oh, that's right. There's death and destruction appetite from Indian society. This is exactly what he said about Israel. This is exactly what he said about Trump supporters. It's the same playbook. He runs the same game every time. I'm not claiming to know a ton about India, Pakistan. I'm not saying that India's fully justified in everything that they do. I'm not doing any of that. But when this guy, who also doesn't know anything, is literally just gonna jump on board, 10 toes down, support more terrorists, say that how dare India retaliate against terrorist attacks, it's mind-boggling. And then says, in Asmongold, he would kill all the Indian people.
Okay, has gotten way more aggressive. That's something that I worry about. India had Gandhi. It's the country of peace and harmony. Asmongold had a fairly balanced take. Dude, Asmongold would literally laugh at you being ethnically cleansed if you're Indian. Okay.
Bro! Someone in his chat says Asmongold had a balanced take. His response, bro, Asmongold would laugh if you were ethnically cleansed right now. Got him! Destroyed!
Okay, he thinks brown people are inferior. What?
Why would you say that? This is crazy! Oh my god! What? Source, trust me, bro. Source, I made it the fuck up, man. Bro is projecting hard right now.
What the f are you talking about? He just doesn't give a shit, but he is like seemingly siding with you, and that doesn't trigger any fucking alarm bells in your mind, okay? Jesus Christ.
What would trigger alarm bells? The fact that you say that he's racist? What is going on?
I mean, I don't even know that much about India versus Pakistan.
There it is. There it is. He said the thing out loud. There it is. I don't know what's going on here. Just from my perspective as a on-the-grounds journalist, I really hate that that people are retaliating against terrorists. Those guys are my bros.
But what the fuck does Asmongold know about India versus Pakistan?
So just between the two of us, unlike you who just watched one Al Jazeera video on stream and then had a bunch of opinions, at least Asmongold has been kind of watching tons of independent media, as well as tons of news releases, as well as actual speeches from the Pakistani defense minister. I mean, he's literally done that. And personally, I have to say, I don't want to be rude here, but he's just jealous that Asmongold's videos are actually fucking popping off. He's getting millions of views. And Hasan is sitting here with 70,000 views on this video right now.
Holy shit. Look at the thumbnail.
Sheesh! Sheesh! Let's go, Indians, rise up. This is crazy.
Of his last
again
video.
Just, and then he pulls up his view count.
JD Vance, India, Pakistan is none of our business. Yeah. Pakistan Prime
Why is he mad about that? Why is he mad about that?
Minister just embarrassed himself on live TV. What actually happened?
He did. That was a video where the Pakistan Prime Minister basically goes on live TV and is like, we shot down 5 planes and we have no evidence that we shot down those planes. That is literally what happened. That's humiliating.
Happened in India, Muslim. Yeah, I wonder why people are looking at this and going, Asmongold has a really balanced take on this. It's
here we go. It's Islamophobia, bro. Everyone just hates Muslims. Everyone hates them. They do. Don't look at the statistics for Muslim incidents on the planet. Don't look into any statistics. There's no reason to do that. All right? We don't want anyone to see stats here. Stats are racist. 2
brown countries killing one another. The only reason why he's seemingly taken aside is because one of the brown guys is also Muslim on top of that.
That must be it. Asmongold just judges moral dilemmas based on who has more ethnicities. That's right. Pakistan was just nerfed by God twice, I guess. What are we doing here?
Can we blame this on Trump? Dude, how do you think
someone in chat shows up? No! This is the greatest thing ever.
Guys is also Muslim on top of that. Can we blame this?
Can we blame this on Trump?
And there was palpable
Dude, how do you think this happened? JD Vance is literally the fucking Antichrist.
This is my favorite. Dude, I'm telling you, I was not going to show you like such a big chunk of this video, but we kept getting better moments. This entire video is gold. It is everything wrong with Hasan, and I am so happy he's actually pissing off another group of people right now, like Indians. No offense, Indians. I'm really glad that he's annoying you guys, because the more people that he annoys, the better my How Fucked Hasan Piker franchise gets. The sooner this guy gets 1,000% fucked, it's going to be wonderful. Wild retard appeared. But here we go, baby. I love when non-Christian people call people the Antichrist.
He visited India, and then the Kashmir attack happened while he was visiting India. This is directly Donald Trump's fault. He said no more conflict.
This is directly Donald Trump's fault.
Around the planet. He said he was going to solve the situation with Russia and Ukraine. Day one, he said he was going to solve the situation with...
At least he's trying, unlike Biden.
With Israel, Palestine. Day one. We're now day 110. None of that has been solved. As a matter of fact, it's only escalated. And also on top of that, he sent his envoy, JD Vance, to first assassinate the former Pope.
Yes, that's what happened. JD Vance assassinated the Pope. True!
And put an American Pope in charge.
True! It was all part of Trump's plan to take over the church with an American Pope.
And then go to India, and death follows him everywhere he goes, obviously.
Yeah, hell yeah,
so
dude.
then that happened. So now he's directly responsible for India, Pakistan, two nuclear nations. Things are just getting worse and worse.
Fantastic analysis from perhaps the greatest political streamer of all time.
This thing to de-escalate as quickly as possible. We can't control these countries, though. Fundamentally, India has its gripes with Pakistan. Pakistan has responded to India. What we can do is try to encourage these folks to de-escalate a little.
Bro, not only did he do it...
Insanely balanced. Holy shit. Wow, what a good take by JD Vance. Now, I'm sure he's going to say that.
Because he was there. But his wife is also Indian, no? That's crazy.
True.
Like, him saying that is...
Bro just muted the in-laws. Are you ready to hear another one of the greatest moments of this entire Hasan video?
Bold, dude. I feel like if I'm your father-in-law and you say that... If I'm your father-in-law and I'm, like, invested in Turkey in some way, shape, or form, and you came out and said some shit like that, I'll smack the f*** out of you, bro. I'd be giving you a call. I'd be giving you a f***ing call real quick. Be like, what the f*** do you mean it's not our business?
Do you realize how insane this Hasan take is? This is basically Hasan saying that JD Vance is a fucking mad lad. That's essentially what he's saying here. He's saying that even though JD Vance's wife is Indian and his in-laws are Indian, he is still staying true to his American policy, saying that we don't want to get involved in other wars. Essentially, what Hasan is saying is that JD Vance is such a beast that he is not letting personal gripes cloud his judgment when it comes to international affairs. He's doing this to make fun of JD Vance, when in reality, this might be one of the most condoning fucking phrases ever uttered about the Vice President of the United States of America. Like, do you realize how insane this is? He is staying true to his ideals instead of caving to his family, and this guy thinks that's an insult?
Pakistan is the enemy.
Hasan wants him to go back on his own philosophies, to get involved in some sort of international conflict? Like, this is crazy.
Me right now, dude.
JD out there trying to prevent World War III, and this dude's like, he's shitty to his in-laws, probably. His in-laws would, like, smack the fuck out of him. Got him, JD. Antichrist, Lamau.
Dude,
a little bit, but we're not going to get involved in the middle of war that's fundamentally none of our business.
How concerned are you that this thing is just going to...
All right, this is awesome. This is so good.
...start to escalate?
Oh, no.
All right, so this is India's High Commissioner to the UK.
Let me
Anonymous.
point out
Pakistani government. Give this 100
Pakistan's sponsored terror group's attack on civilians in Pahalgam on 22nd April. You know, our response thereafter was precise, targeted, reasonable, and moderate. It was focused principally and solely on terrorist infrastructure. We did not strike the Pakistani military establishment. We did not strike national infrastructure. And we made...
This is literally Israel, dude. The Turk is proud of his own creation. That's the real C.
There it is, baby. There it is. We get the India guy basically saying, all right, we're trying our best to be precise and shit. Hasan's response.
We did not strike national infrastructure. And we made...
This is literally Israel, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Every time. It doesn't stop. That Hassan's brain is like, he only has one thing on the mind. Bro's only got one shit on the mind. It's unbelievable. Come on, bro. Can you analyze this conflict from anything other than, it's literally Israel. It's literally Israel, guys.
The Turk is proud of his own creation. That's the real secret. Behind Pakistan is Turkey. Pakistan is behind the media,
Nice.
but you know who's behind Pakistan? Recep Tayyip Erdogan, baby. Adolf Turkler.
Hell yeah,
Adolf
dude.
Turkler.
Hell yeah.
Made abundantly clear, including in the briefing that was given yesterday morning by our permanent secretary, our foreign secretary, and by military officers, that the object of this exercise was clearly to avoid military escalation. The fact was actually acknowledged in a left-handed way, of course, by the Pakistani side in terms of their own statements, official statements, which said that the airspace hadn't been violated and that, no military establishments were attacked.
All right, so it makes it very much look like, according to Pakistan themselves, it seems like the attack was precise and aiming at what India is calling terrorist infrastructure. All right, okay.
And yet they did say that civilians were killed in this attack.
You see the images that they put out themselves. These were at places well known and identified even in Western media for many, many years as central points in the terrorism infrastructure of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Hizbul Mujahideen.
Those are 3 separate terrorist organizations that are working out of Pakistan.
Well-known parts of that.
Dead silence, bro. Bro is not. He's eating his fingers. All of his friends in the terrorist organization's getting cooked right now.
Infrastructure and those establishments.
Can you confirm that the leader and...
I mean, can you at least try to understand the Indian side? I do. What do you mean?
Oh, he does.
I get it.
He
Hindus
gets
were
it.
directly targeted in occupied Kashmir territory by radical elements that get training inside of Pakistani borders.
He gets it. It's a terrorist group that's coming out of Pakistan, and they're killing Hindus. All right, he gets it. So he must support the cause.
I understand it. I have addressed this already.
All right.
I'm simply talking about state versus state violence.
Oh, but they shouldn't attack back in another country. Oh, that's the problem. That's the solution. So there are terrorist groups that are operating in another country, killing your people. You should never fight back because they're terrorist groups. They're not part of the state.
And what is appropriate and what is inappropriate. The Hindu supremacist movement is kind of silly with respect to within the context of Western hegemony. Dude, it's not. There are so many Indians, bro. It's actually not like that at all. It's actually pretty fucking severe over there.
True.
It's unironically like Western elitist, Western chauvinist attitudes that somehow belittles like
you have to get ready for this next part of his video. Like I couldn't cut down specific moments in this video to talk about. I had to show you this entire fucking thing because this might be the worst coverage of a modern conflict I've ever seen in my entire life. You realize this is a war breaking out that could lead to World War III, and I am showing you his one and only video on the matter.
India and Indian fascism, because we're just
Indian fascism. Get ready. Get ready. You are gonna lose your mind. All right? Defending the terrorists did not convince his chat. See, as you can see in the comment section, all the people that purely watch him because they hate Jews do not necessarily also hate Indians. So he's getting some pushback. But don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. He is going to cook himself right here.
It's like, oh, they're over there. When they come here, they're like second-class citizens. Who gives a lol?
And his response is, no, we must dehumanize Indians even more.
It's this weird white supremacist attitude that we have towards a nuclear nation with billions of fucking people in it that have grown this like incredibly unstable fascist movement that...
Right, because again, you got to realize any country that Hasan doesn't like is a fascist movement. Like America. Fascist movement, classic fascist movement, America. You know, democracy, all 7 swing states. Remember that shit? Nope.
In times of terror attacks like this one, basically unite the different factions of the fucking government, and it makes...
It turns out different factions of the fucking government thinks that maybe you should retaliate against terrorist attacks because otherwise you will have more terrorist attacks.
It's a billion-man strong fascist army. That's terrifying.
It's terrifying. That's India. India's just a billion-man fascist army. That is what's happening in India right now. We gotta recontextualize the entire situation. We gotta make you a little scared of the Indians that are slowly gonna be marching their way across the Middle East. What are you talking about? What is even going on?
founder of Jaish-e-Mohammed's family members were killed in this strike?
Well, they put it out on their own social media. This is not us confirming. It is on well-known
Yeah, bro, that's his family, dumbass. We already know this from day one. BBC reported on it too.
social media handles of the group.
Hi, Commissioner. I want to ask you about Chinese-made Pakistani fighter jet planes that say they shot down at least 2 Indian military aircraft on Wednesday. What is your reaction?
You're viewing a few new haters of this one.
I hope so.
Few? I think
he's realizing he's actually seeing pushback in his chat. He's getting scared, bro.
Like, Hasan doesn't understand India crowd is gonna be so much larger.
Yeah, baby. Hell yeah, dude. And that's why we share this information on how fucked is the Hasan Piker franchise.
I think that's a far more consequential enemy base than anything. The Hasan says Israel crowd is... They have a lot of motion, right? They have institutional legitimacy. They can flex their institutional muscle. They can get articles written about me in the Free Press and Daily Mail, stuff like that.
Yeah, like the Jews need their control over the media to write articles, to write articles against Hamas Piker. Dude, what are you talking about? You're the biggest political streamer on the planet, leftist, of course, and showing and promoting terrorism on the daily. Like, what are we even talking about?
Like that. The Hasan is anti-India crowd, on the other hand, has one thing that Israel will never have: raw numbers.
Oh my God, he's getting scared. 1 billion Indians ain't gonna like this guy very much anymore.
Same level of loyalty, if not crazier. Same level of anti-Islam sentiment baked into their collective consciousness.
Oh, they'll only hate him because they're all Islamophobic. There's 1 billion Islamophobic Hindus. That's why. Obviously not because he's out here basically saying that you're never allowed to retaliate to terrorist attacks. No, no, no. They just hate Muslims. That's why they would criticize him. Of course. Oh, it's the same playbook every fucking time, bro.
But more importantly than anything else, raw fucking numbers.
True.
It is truly a terrifying force to reckon with. To be honest,
1 billion fascists, according to Hasan. It's 1 billion people in a fascist army.
As you yourself are far more removed from India than you are from the MENA region. Oh, this is true. This is true. I'm the first to admit that I'm not the most knowledgeable on this stuff. But
yeah, you know the best way to radicalize an entire country and make them hate Islam? Put them next to a radical Islamist state. That might get them to start disliking them. It's kind of weird how that keeps happening. It's probably a coincidence.
Anytime I've opened the door into Indian people...
Obviously, this isn't me criticizing all Muslims. Obviously, there are a lot of really great Muslims out there. But the radical extremist states? Nah, dude. Nah, bro.
People's business. I actually have shuttered the door in fear because... The new technology that I see, like the new racism technology that I see on Indian Twitter.
There we go. That's it. Indian Twitter is unleashing racism technology. That's how they're going to take him down.
Is parts hilarious, but parts terrifying, where I'm like, how did they come up with these?
All right, you want me to speak talking about racism, because here is him basically going on an entire diatribe about how essentially India is going to attack him because India is super racist against Muslims. And since India is super racist against Muslims, all right, since India is super racist against Muslims, India is going to go for him. So I propose we do a little bit of research. What percent of India is Muslim? I just want to know. I'm just curious. All right, we'll see. We'll see what the answer is. All right, so apparently 14.2% of India's population is Muslim. All right, fair enough. 14%. What percent of Pakistan population is Hindu? All right, here we go. Are you ready, gamers? Are you ready for the moment of truth? Because I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Who knows? 2%. Weird. I don't know. These were basically the same groups of people that was split down the middle in 1947. It's kind of weird how that happened, isn't it? Kind of wild. For the record, this is not me saying that there are no Hindus that hate Muslims. Obviously, there are. But I think there are more Muslims in Pakistan that hate Hindus.
This kind of racism.
And it's such
But of course, he's only going to talk about the racism on the fascist Indian side of the matter.
Crazy racism. I guess I can bring it back to my experiences like a Turkish man growing up in Turkey and then coming to America. And as soon as I came to the United States of America, despite looking white, I lost my like in-group status because when I was in Turkey.
Oh, he's a minority. Oh, this poor oppressed man with his billionaire dad and his multi-millionaire uncle that owns a gigantic media company. Unbelievable. This poor man.
I'm a part of the dominating in-group, right? In America, all of a sudden, my name is Hasan.
Oh.
Post 9/11 America, I'm going to experience some levels of stereotyping, a little bit of...
Oh, they're stereotyping him everywhere. That's why he failed so much in life. That's why he wasn't literally given everything on a silver blanket.
Tree, all that stuff. So I understand
Silver platter.
Indians operate in the way that like...
All right, and back to the way Indians operate. He's not a racist, by the way. He's part of the woke left. Hamas Diddy Bin Laden Piker over here is absolutely part of the woke left. He does not have racism, not a racist bone in his body. Anyway, on to how Indians operate.
If they are the upper caste in India, and then they come to the United States of America, they carry over that supremacist attitude here.
There we go. All Indians are racist. We got there, guys.
And they can't even contend with why Americans don't see them as such. Like,
Indians are so racist. They are so racist. They can't even understand why Americans will look at them and be like, you aren't the superior culture. This is crazy, dude. What is happening?
Like, they don't understand from the American's perspective. The highest of the highest caste Indian man is still Indian. Americans literally will look at you and go, "What are you saying? You're brown." Like, they'll hit you with like...
Right, so the racist Americans will be like, bro, you're brown. We hate you because you're brown. And then the racist Indians will be like, why aren't you respecting us because we are the superior culture? What the fuck is even happening right now? This is the worst. This might be the worst analysis of the India-Pakistan conflict I've ever seen in my entire life.
The most basic levels of racism. In the same way that like Turks who find themselves to be above Arabs, for example, on the racial pecking order within Islam, they don't realize that the Western world does not treat them any differently than they treat Arabs. They look to Turks and they look to Muslims and they look to Albanians as well in the same way that they look to Arabs. Like, there is a racial pecking order where white supremacy is supreme. It is the most supreme version of racism.
All right, we had to turn this around. He realized he was sounding a little bit racist to the Indians. He had to turn it around and say, but don't worry. I know that I'm calling all billion Indians racist. However, don't worry. White people are more racist than them. So let's make this clear. This is very important.
It is the most domineering force on this planet. Its underpinning comes from colonial exploitation for centuries.
Right.
It's undefeated. It's a totally different demon.
This might be the worst video he's ever made. I don't know. I've watched a lot of Hasan content out there in order to fuel my how fucked is Hasan Piker franchise, the best franchise on the internet. The only one doing this, by the way. The only one doing this appropriately. Definitely subscribe. But this might be the worst video I've ever seen. It's like he was jealous that Asmongold was getting views, and he was like, all right, I know I don't know anything about this at all, but I know I'm going to support the terrorists, and let's go live and start yapping.
For all the Indian chatters in here that are like, you know, maybe operating with a different understanding. I haven't had Arun on yet.
Arun, by the way, again, he is that person from India that's pro-Pakistan. That's his move every time. Every time. He's like, all right, so in order to properly cover this conflict, I am going to get a token Jew to be anti-Zionist. All right, that's his move every time.
Spare him. Because I feel like they're going to kill my man, all right? Tamil Hasanabi. Like, I worry for his safety because these guys are going to get extra mad at...
Oh, he's worried for the safety of the people that are pro-Pakistan. Their safety is at risk. This is the same exact bullshit he pulls every time. There's someone in his chat just that said you're not qualified to talk on this subject. You don't know any of it. By the way, he was completely correct, this random chatter. And then this dude is like, I fear for my safety. This Rambo guy is he's gonna kill us.
Arun, like, I've seen the comments, bro. I've seen the comments that this man is receiving.
Oh my God. Comments on the internet.
Stick.
By the way, you know how many comments I get from like Hasan people saying that that I should get killed and I'm a neo-Nazi and because I criticize Hasan supporting terrorists?
Today's media all over in India over the last 3 hours has reported the shoot down of 2 Chinese-made fighter jets and an F-16 and an airborne early warning platform.
Well, High Commissioner,
I don't believe, the point that I was trying to make, if I may just complete that, look, if it satisfies Pakistan's ego to say that they've done something, they could have used that as an off-ramp to move on. But clearly they chose not to, and they've continued to escalate the matter.
This is a report I'm reading from...
Dude, you know why he's laughing? He's laughing that Pakistan escalate the matter, but what do you mean? India's the escalator.
Reuters, based on 2 U.S. officials telling Reuters this.
He's like, no, it's a lie. That didn't happen. Pakistan is just lying.
Pakistan was just lying. He was right. We covered this in the last video. We literally covered this in the last video, brother. Oh my God.
To make themselves feel better.
That's literally, but that is exactly what happened. We covered this in the last video. We literally just covered that. Here, let me see if I can pull up the clip. This is awesome. Oh God. Dude, I showed you earlier in this very video. In this very video, I showed it to you. That essentially you had Pakistan showing video game footage claiming that they were taking down enemy ships. Pakistan lies on CNN. Let me see if I can find it. It's pretty fucking hilarious if I do say so myself. Here it is. It's so good. It's so funny.
Brought up the fact that India lost some fighter jets. So you've just brought up the fact that India lost some fighter jets. So let's be quite clear about this. Pakistan claims it shot down 5 Indian Air Force jets and a drone, as I understand it. India says there's no evidence of that, no proof. So can you provide more detail? Hold on. Can you provide more detail? And is this the response that your army spokesman threatened, or is there further action to come? Let's start with this very specific allegation of 5 fighter jets shot down. Where's the evidence for that, sir?
It's all over the social media.
Oh, just look at social media. We don't have any evidence.
Social media, not on our social media. The debris of fell in Indian occupied Kashmir, and it's all over Indian media today. And they have admitted their media has.
The reason to talk to you today, sir, it's not to talk about.
Bro, they claim that they shot down 5 fighter jets. They don't have any video footage of anything like that. They what?
Content all over social media. I'm sorry, it's not to talk about content all over social media. I'm asking you very specifically.
Yeah, and he had nothing. Go look on social media. So actually, it turns out that the Indian guy was just correct here. It turned out, suspiciously enough. But that's not my favorite. My favorite, straight up, unironically, not even gonna lie, not even gonna yank your chain a little bit. Let me see if I can find this. The Pakistan video footage guy. Pakistan video game. This is so good, dude. I can't. The official Twitter account of the government of Pakistan posted footage from the video game Arma 3 claiming it shows a real military response to alleged Indian aggression. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is so amazing. This is awesome. There is nothing funnier than this ever. This is the funniest thing literally ever. But anyway, back to Hasan supporting terrorists.
But obviously, it's a lie because they're still escalating, which is crazy to say they're the ones who are escalating. Pakistan is escalating.
Well, Pakistan claimed they shot down 5 ships, right? They're claiming they shot down 5 planes. If it's true that they shot down 5 planes, then they got a pretty crazy response. If it's not true that they shot down 5 planes, then they're lying.
And then she checks him. She checks him with a Reuters report to be like, well, you know, seems like Western media is also saying this. To which I hope he retaliates. Well, as you know, Pakistan controls the media.
They're saying it's the...
Sorry, bro. You know why he's not going to respond with that? Because it's not Israel anymore. No Jews in this conflict, so can't use that argument.
First time that Western officials...
He's not used to a conflict that you can't just blame Jews. He's really not used to it. Like, this is weird for Hasan. You don't understand. Hasan needs to cover geopolitics without blaming Jews. It's literally impossible.
Officials have confirmed that there was high confidence that Pakistan had used the Chinese-made J-10 aircraft to launch air-to-air missiles against Indian fighter jets, bringing down at least 2.
This is something that, you know, let's ask Reuters. But my larger sense is that there is no evidence of that. We haven't actually confirmed.
That was a good face.
My larger sense is that there is no evidence of that.
Look at
We haven't
no evidence. What?
actually confirmed
I love how Hasan is. He's not even engaging with this.
any such thing. The better point is to ask actually if all of this is true.
His chat is exactly as brainwashed as he wants it to be. Oh my God, India acting like Israel.
And if Pakistan has essentially succeeded in making its point as it wanted to, why are they not stopping? The question you have to ask yourself, however, is the other one, which is that if
but
Pakistan...
the question is literally, why is India not stopping?
Because there were multiple terrorist groups that are operating in Pakistan that are attacking Indian people for the last decades, bro. Because they want to stop the onslaught of terrorist attacks that are happening in their country. What?
They actually carried out a successful attack and none of their planes fell. Why is India not stopping? Shouldn't the journalists at the table ask that question? India has stopped? Brother, there are reports that they hit another military base. What are you talking about?
Womp, womp, womp.
India has stopped. We were just returning fire.
Reciprocal. Reciprocal tariffs.
Okay, so India hasn't stopped. I like that every party involved is like, no, you don't understand. We're retaliating. Like Pakistan's like, no, you don't get it. We're retaliating. India's like, no, you don't get it. We're retaliating.
Pakistan High Commissioner said here yesterday. What are they retaliating about? They're retaliating against attacks on terrorism infrastructure. So what does that tell you of their relationship with the terror groups?
Bro's eating his whole ass hand thinking about that fucking logic. Holy shit. Bro is eating his fucking hand. He's like, wait a second, why are they retaliating on our attacks on terrorist groups? And he's just like...
Well, they're saying that they're distancing themselves completely from Pahalgam, and they're saying they had nothing to do with it. They've said that they've asked for an investigation, and India has refused an international investigation that they were happy to cooperate in.
Well, this is a story we've heard multiple times before. In 2016, after the...
In the coming days, you should invite someone more knowledgeable on the subject. I have.
He didn't engage with any of those points. Yeah, he's responding to random chatter about something else. Nice.
Just not going to like it. And after this video is over, I will, once again. You're just not going to like what he's going to say. I'm just letting...
Bro, you're not going to like it. I have someone that supports terrorists. He's coming on. You're not going to like it, but, you know...
You know ahead of time.
We offered them an unprecedented amount of access to an Indian Air Force base, which had been attacked at Pathan.
Wait, what's he showing? Pakistan military spokesperson says Indian airplanes fired missiles at an airbase. Adds that multiple military bases were targeted by Indian missiles. 19 likes. Hasan proved his point. Never mind. Hasan was right about everything.
Quote.
Chad is like, dude, you don't understand. India's not actually attacking. They're just retaliating.
Oh, damn. Gee, true. This has 12 likes on it.
Pakistan military spokesperson says Indian airplanes fired missiles on an airbase in Rawalpindi.
But don't you realize that the Pakistan military spokesman has been caught on like a metric fuck ton of lies? Like, dude, do you understand? Every single time India says something, this dude's like, oh, it's a lie. It's a lie. You're going to really trust the Indian spokesperson? And then every time the Pakistan military spokesperson, oh, what are you talking about? He said it. It's true.
He adds that multiple military bases were targeted by Indian missiles. But that's just retaliation, dude. You don't get it. And then everybody points to
I mean, they also claimed that they shot down a bunch of planes.
The Pakistani defense minister admitting to harboring terrorists. I know, man.
That's not the case. There's a decade-long track record of Pakistan harboring terrorists. The Pakistan foreign minister admitted it on an interview on the same media outlet. Hasan's response, oh, I know that. What is even going on? Like, are we on the same page? Is he just unabashedly supporting terrorists again? Like, what is happening?
I saw that too. I know. And I know what he was talking about, okay? I've covered it extensively. Some might even say part of my America Deserved 9/11 actually is directly what he's talking about.
He's defending his America Deserved 9/11 take. This video's a gold mine. He knows nothing about the topic, so he just filibusters about random bullshit.
Frankly,
Bro, look at his actual chat. Oh my god, wait. That was too good. Did it just get banned in real time?
America deserved 9/11 actually is directly what he's talking about.
Frank.
All right, so check this out. Those missiles just removed themselves from the plane. All right, nice. Who pays better? Qatar, Soros, or Pakistan? Oh my God. No one is claiming you're in their pocket. Why are you creating this false narrative?
Each time, if you go all the way back to 2008 to the Mumbai terror attacks, where a substantial amount of information and material evidence was provided to the world and to Pakistan, who made the same generous offer of cooperation.
One of the funniest things out of all of this has been to see all of the Defend the West white supremacist accounts all posting so aggressively about India. How did that happen?
How are people that are pro-America also pro the fact that India's retaliating against terrorists? Does he not realize how stupid he sounds? Like, how does he say these things?
So many of the Defend the West, you know, Greek statue avatar, white supremacist accounts all of a sudden are incredible experts that seemingly always align with India. I don't know why. I don't know how that happened, but I'm seeing so much of it.
Maybe he should look into the fact that maybe they just defend people in general that don't like terrorists.
All the pro-Israel accounts that are also white supremacist accounts that are like...
All the pro-Israel accounts, which are also all white supremacists, according to him, even though white supremacists hate Jews. Do we understand what's happening? Like, look at what's going on. White supremacists hate Jews, but they're pro-Israel and pro-India. Well, then maybe your analysis of all these people are just completely wrong.
Like, we got to defend the West from Muslim invasion. Every single one of them is posting about India right now.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to come back to this point on the Indian military aircraft. I know India is not confirming this situation.
I love how he's like, I can't figure out what all of these different people have in common. And all those different people are just like, yeah, we hate terrorists. And he's like, I can't fathom what they have to do with each other. It's crazy that they're all on the same side on these issues. Yeah, pretty weird.
There are now Western officials coming out. The French have said that they have an understanding that the aircraft, the Rafale that India has been hit. Are you concerned that you're going to continue to have this kind of loss?
I don't think so.
I feel like she's egging him on. She's like, come on. Yo, they f***ing your shit up right now, fam. They got them Chinese missiles coming out the wazoo. She's like...
I love how he's like, yeah, I can't believe India is the one escalating and Pakistan's trying for peace. And he's like, oh yeah, Pakistan, they have such good fucking missiles and shit.
She's like, bro, they are f***ing up the Indian Air Force real bad.
Are they though?
What do you have to say to this? He's actually pretty reserved, for the record, all things considered.
He's like, yeah, for an Indian fascist racist, I can't believe that he's actually pretty reserved.
You know?
So, what is the purpose? First of all, we don't know if this has happened. But as a famous British admiral once said, the purpose of military infrastructure and hardware is for it to be used, right? If it serves its purpose, and it all serves its purpose brilliantly, I think there is little doubt that we have hit with great precision as many as 9 terror infrastructure camps. We have shown we have the capacity to hit with surgical precision at individual buildings within the terror camps. What we are then signaling is we have the capacity, if Pakistan escalates it, we have the capacity to really punish them harder.
I mean, everything he's saying kind of makes sense. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, if you actually are able to have precise attacks against terrorist attacks, yeah, no, that's crazy.
Hi, Commissioner. I just have a minute left, but I've spoken to a retired general who in Pakistan who referenced India funding and backing the Baluch Liberation Army. They've said that they have done that for years, and when I asked him about Masood Azhar, he said, well, their family members were targeted. Should we be doing the same to, the high-level militants from the BLA, the Baluch Liberation Army, that are seen and operate within Delhi?
Well, look, let me show you this photograph.
Oh, bro, and evidence! Oh, God, look at him leaning back in his chair. He doesn't understand the conflict. He's just doing his job. Asmongold got views on this. He's got to cover this also. He's like, oh, my God. And then the fine gentleman with the Canadian accent just pulls out a fucking notebook. Oh, my God. Look at this. Look at his bro.
Damn.
Yesterday, I believe it is.
Uh-oh.
This person here is a sanctioned terrorist under the American sanctions regime.
All right, so sanctioned terrorist, that means Hasan probably likes him. Moving on.
Name is Hafiz Abdul Rauf. He's a brother of the
came in
founder
hot.
of the terrorist groups that you're mentioning. Look who's behind him. Pakistani military.
Dum, dum, dum. Now listen, it's circumstantial evidence. We need Hasan Piker. It didn't happen. All right. Do you have evidence of this rape that occurred? All right. Listen. We need evidence. We need evidence of the rape. Okay, please. Evidence has an official test been done? Bro, it's over. It's fucking over. Like, holy shit. Holy balls, bro. This is crazy. So we literally have Pakistani military people standing with terrorists, and he's like, they might be aligned on certain things.
Look at the coffins there. They have the Pakistani national flag. If you're going to be giving terrorists state funerals, what does that make of your...
I just realized this guy is the chatter.
Why is he not responding to anything being said? Oh my God.
This guy's the chatter. He dropped every talking point that the chatter's been blasting. Oh my God. Yo, we got fucking, dude, that's kind of sick. That's kind of sick. Are you him? Yeah, no.
Maybe dude, this is insane. The talking point is that there might be actual alignment of the fucking government with the terrorists. And he's like, Lamau, he's just using talking points. He's using talking points, guys. It's talking points.
Notice how he didn't respond to the, what do you have to say to the evidence that suggests that India has been offering training and logistics to the Balochistan Liberation Army?
Notice how he had nothing to respond to the fact that there were actual Pakistani military people that were literally at funerals of terrorists.
And he's like, well, look at this photograph. That's pretty sick. It's better your big brain stay out of this conflict.
God damn, his chat is murdering him. His chat is murdering him. Calling it right here. There will not be another India-Pakistan video on Hasan's channel for a long time. He's getting absolutely eaten alive. He doesn't want another base of people that hate him.
I don't know who the dude is, and I don't know what the context is, but what I do know is he did not respond to the question, because the question has nothing to do with...
I notice how Hasan does not want to respond to the fact that there are obviously Pakistani military state people that went to terrorist funerals and hanging out with terrorists. I notice that Hasan doesn't want to answer that point. Because remember, Hasan's entire argument here is that there is no evidence at all that Pakistan officials were actually tied to the terrorist groups, so therefore he calls India a terrorist state. You have to realize that.
Whether or not Pakistan is allowing fundamentalists to exist and to even train within its borders, that is true. We know that that is true. The question is what you do about it. This is precisely the reason why I kept saying, like, okay, well, you know, there's Balochistan separatists that India has offered training to. Like, is it okay if Pakistan strikes India? And when I ask that question to people...
Dude, this is the craziest thing in the world. Like, it's unbelievable how often he decides to misconstrue situations. All right? Well, dude, okay, I don't want to accidentally go crazy here with Twitter. You can never pull Twitter up anymore. Twitter became the Wild West. How many terrorist attacks took place in India over the last 80 years? All right, because there were tons of terrorist attacks that took place. All right, it's obviously varying. So pre-1970s, it was less documented. Here, there were... Bro! 182 bombings. Oh, Lord. And then another 180 terrorist groups active. And then here's another 20,000 deaths. And whatever. You get the idea. A metric fuck ton. Based on the estimates, approximately 13,000 terrorist attacks. All right. How many terrorist attacks in Pakistan? I mean, there had to be a lot, right? I mean, Hasan is out here saying that they have to fight back against the terrorist attacks too. Terrorism in Pakistan was minimal. The beginning of significant terrorist activity was here after our notice. All right, let's get the stats. Let's get the stats. Let's grab the stats. Critical examine. It doesn't stop, bro. Wait. Okay, around the same amount. Damn, that's crazy. Holy shit. critical examining the fundamental figure 2,635 Islamist attacks. Wait, this is including the Islamist attacks in Pakistan? All right, so that proved nothing. Never mind, that proved nothing. Mostly peaceful bombings, I guess.
Well, not funny. No funny. Also, truth is same. We are not doing that. We are not funding them. Just people of India are sympathetic to BLA. Okay. Well, then people of Pakistan are sympathetic to those guys. Okay.
No! Don't use that argument. Don't use that argument.
Okay. What do you mean? What is happening here?
He doesn't understand why his chat is actually eating him alive.
Yeah, the Pakistani military is sympathetic to that guy, and the Indian government is... Wait, what the... Retired Indian Major General Bakshi, India is a nuclear power. We can blast the hell out of Turkey if we want.
That India is a nuclear power. India is a space power. Yeah. We can blast the hell out of Turkey if required.
Yeah.
Turkey has...
Holy shit.
Chill. Hey, yo. Bro.
I feel like Hasan was getting cooked by his chat. He was getting absolutely annihilated by his chat. When they were all actually saying, why are you supporting the terrorists in Pakistan? So he immediately needed to pull up a clip of some guy in India saying something radical so that he could prove his point that India, in fact, deserves it. Like, do you see how insane this is? Someone in his chat attacks him, and then he's like, yo, I can pull up something radical that India said.
Brother.
Professional victim, Hasan Piker.
Man, Indian politics is...
W deflection. He did it there.
Awesome. Indian politics is so crazy with it. He said we can blast the hell out of Turkey with our nukes. Okay, bro. Benchod.
Misbehaving.
Yeah,
for quite some time.
For misbehaving.
You know, they recruited Erdogan.
Look, he's getting... I've never seen him with this little riz, bro. I have never seen this man get cooked this badly.
And you forget that India is a nuclear power.
Uh-oh, they know. They know Pakistan is Turkish.
Pakistan has used this as a means of subcritical warfare against India. If the international community really wants to be able to look at this and worry about it...
Dude, this is amazing! People in his chat they're eating him
warfare
alive!
against India.
This is the Hassanabi doctrine. It's the doctrine of Hasan. Every time he gets absolutely smoked by his chat, he immediately says, yo, but look at what some random guy in India said years ago about Turkey.
International community really wants to...
They're eating him alive!
Be able to look at this and worry about it. The simple solution is to tell Pakistan it has an opportunity for an off-ramp. These are things that the world should have compelled Pakistan to do.
So what, like India doesn't have an off-ramp? Like, I don't understand. No off-ramps for India. Is
There were multiple dude, are we speaking the same fucking language? Like, what is even going on? What is even happening? Off-ramp for India? There were multiple terrorist attacks in India from terrorist organizations based in Pakistan. They're trying to stop that from happening. Because obviously, dude, what?
Pakistan.
30 years ago, and to compel them to implement their promises about taking down this infrastructure. It has not done so.
We can't verify these images ourselves, and this is part of one of the problems, High Commissioner, that both sides, there's a lot of information coming.
True. I do feel like there's a lot of misinformation on both sides. I'm not going to say, again, you're going to probably watch this video and be like, wow, I can't believe Nux is 100% pro-India, believes everything India says. I personally am very anti-terrorist. This is a stance that I have, and I think that India attacking terrorist infrastructure because they're getting attacked by terrorists that are based off Pakistan does not make them a radical terrorist state. I'm not going to make believe I understand the super inner workings of all this shit, but watching Hasan essentially have a cope session for 30 minutes is one of the greatest moments of all time. I happen to, in this specific conflict, based on my limited knowledge, definitely hear the India side better than I hear the Pakistan side. But I'm not like 10 toes down pro some sort of India that's part of an 80-year blood feud that I'm not going to make believe I understand exactly. But Hamas Diddy bin Laden Piker literally drops in and is 1000% pro the state that is defending the terrorist attacks. Like, it is insane. 10 toes down is the gayest saying. Yeah, I got it from Hamas Diddy bin Laden Piker.
Out, but independent...
He's 10 toes down supporting the Houthi terrorists.
Journalists, foreign journalists are not being given access. The Pakistanis have said to me, you're free to come to the sites that have been targeted and we can take you to the line of control as well with the military to show you what's been hit and targeted. And in the same way, the information that we find...
Why do you completely ignore the photo he showed? What?
True! What? What? Oh my god, this is the great. How did he have the balls to post this on his own channel? How on earth did Hasan actually post this video on his channel? Why did you completely ignore the photo he showed that literally proved the fact that there are people in the actual Pakistan government that are supporting terrorists? What?
Because it had nothing to do with the answer. Also, why?
What are you talking about? This entire video is Hasan essentially sitting there and saying, I can't believe India is a terrorist state for attacking Pakistan because the terrorist organizations had nothing to do with Pakistan. A photo was showed that proved that there actually was a connection with Pakistan. What? That has nothing to do with anything.
Why are you getting mad at me? She has an even worse response than me. She literally goes, we can't verify what that photo is. You just like showed me a photo. What am I supposed to do with this? All right, we're going to have Arun on now so that you guys can yell at an Indian.
All right, now we're going to have my token guy.
Dude instead of me.
Hell yeah, now we're going to have an Indian guy so you can yell at an Indian guy for supporting Pakistan instead of me. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, we're going to tokenize another guy. So apparently Asmongold dropped this clip right now. Which is very exciting. 7 minutes ago, I am going viral in India. There was backlash. Hell yeah, dude. This must be about Hasan. There's no way this isn't about Hasan calling him a genocidal freak that wants to ethnically cleanse everybody. Don't worry, bald man. Don't worry, bald man. I am supporting you all the way. I am literally here, bro. I am literally here.
Asmongold had a fairly balanced
Let's
take.
go!
Dude, Asmongold would literally laugh at you being ethnically cleansed if you're Indian.
It's crazy! He's everywhere! Dude, I got here, man. All right, bald man. You got me on this one.
Okay.
Dude, this is crazy. He just says this stuff. I know. It's crazy. It's because he's Israel coded, I guess.
I didn't know that.
He thinks brown people are inferior. What the fuck are you talking about? He just
Hasan just says shit. This is unbelievable. This is crazy.
Doesn't give a shit, but he is like seemingly siding with you.
Oh jeez. No, I can't see. Here's the problem: is that even if I wanted to sue Hasan, I never would, but I couldn't because nobody gives a shit what he says. Nobody cares.
I don't.
Yeah, he can't sue Hasan. People don't understand defamation in the audience. Like when Hasan said that, like when I was pulled up on his stream and he was like, suspiciously, all the people that call me out are pedophiles, obviously implying that I'm a pedophile, which is obviously not true. It's not actually suable because technically, A, he didn't hurt my financial situation, and slander lawsuits need to prove financial damage. He did not financially damage me. He just reputationally damaged me. And second, he didn't directly say it was me. He just said that everyone attacks me is a pedophile when I was on his stream, obviously signaling to his audience what he wants to signal to them, but not actually directly calling me a pedophile. It's the slimiest moveset of all time.
I don't even know that much about India versus Pakistan, but what the
suspiciously, a lot of people that support multiple Islamist terrorist organizations, suspiciously and coincidentally, a lot of them are married to 9-year-olds. Huh! I mean, I'm not saying Hasan is, all right, but he did go to a brothel that was rated for sex trafficking people, where someone was actually arrested for sex trafficking children. I mean, he did go to diddy parties. Now, I'm not saying that Hasan has a 9-year-old wife, but I am saying suspiciously, a lot of the supporters of terror have 9-year-old wives. Just saying.
Fuck does Asmongold know about India versus Pakistan? Holy shit. India bros are attacking you on Asmon? Of course they are. I mean, go there. Go there. Look at the thumbnail.
They did. That's why you're mad.
Of his last video.
I get more updates about my YouTube channel from Hasan than I do from my editors.
Help me, I'm trapped in the attic.
Wow, face of Twitch, number one political streamer is calling India a rogue terrorist state.
Yeah!
Wait, what?
Yeah! I just covered this! That's Hasan Piker 450% fucked. He angered the Indians. It's over. It's over.
Correction for the r/India bros who were cooking Hasan. He's actually the second biggest political streamer, not the first.
Face of Twitch and the number one political streamer Hasan calling India a rogue terrorist state in defense for Pakistan.
Any state that violates the sovereignty of another state and strikes civilian targets is a fucking rogue terrorist state. Say India.
Wouldn't that make Pakistan a rogue terrorist state?
But I would go so far as to say, yeah, they're doing terrorism. I'm sorry, I'm vehemently anti-Modi and his agenda, but to call India a rogue terrorist state is absolutely incorrect. This is a rogue terrorist action. A rogue terrorist action. That's precisely what it is.
He's angering more people. This is so good. As bro continues grifting for terrorists more and more and more, he's only gonna get everyone against him. God, this is so so fun to watch. This is awesome. I'm sorry, India bros, that he's calling India a terrorist state. I'm sure this isn't good for your reputation, but it's what I had to deal with for the last year and a half, dude. It's unbelievable.
What that was.
I got, what do you even say? How does he always find himself on this side?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If I had a nickel for every terrorist organization that Hasan seemingly supported, I'd have a lot of fucking nickels.
Does this keep happening? Like, I remember everybody was spamming.
I was literally right, by the way. Everyone's been calling me out for this, saying it's not true. It's not true. He just hates Israel. No. I mean, yes, he absolutely hates Jews and hates Israel. I mean, I've proved that on the Hasan Piker as fuck franchise. Absolutely, 100%. But it's not just that he hates Israel. No, he just likes terrorism. He's anti-American. He's anti-Western values. He's anti-democracy, it seems, because he's always supporting countries and states that are anti-democracy, anti-women's rights. Like, dude, anti-everything that woke culture stands for, all right? They throw gay people off buildings on most countries that he supports, all right? It's crazy. He's anti-American, anti-Western values, anti-women, all right? Prove that the rapes happened. Send pics if the rapes happened. Oh my God.
They were like, oh, watch Hasan support this. And like, I didn't feed into this at all because I thought that it was unfair. And now we have the clip.
And I was right all along. I told you all along. I was saying it. Asmongold was still denying it. And I was like, nah, bro, open your eyes.
Once again, we've had another side where Hasan has fallen off on the side of supporting terrorism.
Kinda crazy, kinda weird how that keeps happening. People are waking up, and it's all because of the How Fucked Is Hasan Piker franchise.
Who would have guessed?
I'm just saying. So in this battle between the 7-Elevens and the 9-Elevens, I personally find myself a lot more on the side of the 7-Elevens. But Hasan Piker seemingly keeps supporting the 9-Elevens. It's kind of weird how that keeps happening. Anyway, bro is 450% cooked now. He angered the Indians. New series, 100% based. Yeah, Nux is 100% based, truly. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. And for Dep, we'll see. When he's 460% cooked, I will update you guys. Don't you worry, your little buttholes. See you later, gamers. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.